My name is Johnny Nashville. I was born in the 1940s, and when I was a kid, when I was learning the alphabet, a bee's nest fell on my head. Ever since then, I've been very afraid of the alphabet, especially the letter B. So, I came up with the Nashville number system. In each key, there are 7 chords. In the key of C, for example, there's C, D, E, F, G, A, and B. And we assign a numerical value to each one of them. So 1 is C, 2 is D, and so on and so forth. In the major key, the 2nd, 3rd, and 6th chord, they are minors, while the 1st, 4th, and 5th chord, they are majors. The 7th chord is a bit different since it doesn't properly fit in, and there are a few exceptions with it. More about that we'll talk to my assistant, Marilyn Memphis. The Nashville number system really comes in handy if you need to transpose, since the numbers always correspond to the notes in a major scale. For example, in the E major scale, the 1 chord is always an E major. The 4 chord is an A major. If you don't know your major scales, which you should if you're a musician, you can refer to this handy chart that I've linked in the doobly-doo. Thank you for listening.
Hi, I'm Marilyn Memphis. When using charts written in the Nashville number system, there are a few symbols that are helpful to know. There are actually a lot of symbols used by Nashville musicians, but here are just a few of the most common ones. If you see a line written underneath 2 chords, that's a type of rhythmic notation. You might, for example, see the chords 4, 1 with a line under them, and that means that you should play the first chord, the 4 chord, for 2 beats, and then the 1 chord for 2 beats. So the measure is basically split in half between the 2 chords, 2 beats and 2 beats. Another type of rhythmic notation you might see is the use of dots. So for example, you might see a 4 with 3 dots, and a 1 with 1 dot. This would mean, intuitively, that you would play the 4 chord for 3 beats, and then the 1 chord for 1 beat. Another symbol you might see in Nashville number charts is a slash. You'll also run into this in normal chord charts. If you see a 1/3, this means that everyone in the band is playing a 1 chord, but the bass player is playing the scale degree 3. So if you're in the key of C, everyone in the band is playing a C major chord, but the bass player is playing an E. There's also a way to designate major and minor chords. So you already heard from Johnny Nashville that every major scale has 3 minor chords, 2, 3, and 6. Once in a while, though, you might come across a 2 major. So that will look like this, 2 with a capital M. So in the key of C, that would be a D major chord. You can also designate any chord as a minor chord by adding a dash. So if, for example, you saw a 1 with a dash after it, this would mean it's a minor 1 chord. So in the key of C, it would be C minor. So in this way, any chord can be major or minor at any time. Once in a while, you might also see a flat or a sharp before the number. For example, you might see flat 7. This means that if you're in the key of C, instead of playing a B chord, which Johnny Nashville already described as being neither a major or minor chord, you make the B flat, and so instead you're going to play a B flat major chord. You won't see this very often, but you could also see a flat or sharp in front of any of these notes. So that means that you will alter it and play the corresponding chord. So what does this look like practically? Let's now look at an actual Nashville number chart. Let's look at the chart for the song 10,000 Reasons. Let's say we want to play this song in the key of G. You'll notice the first thing written on this chart is the chorus. So you'll see the chords 4 and 1 with the line underneath them like I described. So for the first 2 beats of this song, you're going to play the chord C major. That's a 4 chord in the key of G. For the next 2 beats, you'll play the chord 1, which is a G major chord. That continues. So the next 2 chords are 5 and 6, played in the same way. So the first 2 beats will be D major, and the second 2 beats of the next measure will be E minor, which is a 6 chord in the key of G. Now let's jump to the 3rd line, and so you see the use of dots. So you'll see 4 with a dot after it, 5 with a dot after it, and then 6 with 2 dots. So for 1 beat, you're going to play the chord C major, which is 4 in the key of G. For 1 beat, you'll play the chord D major, and for 2 beats, you'll play the chord E minor. The next thing you'll see that we discussed is the slash. So in the last line, over the word name, you'll see 4/1. So everyone in the band will be playing a 4 chord, and the bass will be playing 1, which in the key of G is G. Everyone in the band will be playing 4, which is C major. And then they'll resolve that to 1, everyone playing a 1 chord G major on the 3rd beat of that measure.
I'm Johnny Nashville.
And I'm Marilyn Memphis.
I hope you enjoyed this short tutorial, and we'll see you guys next time.